Hi, myself Fayaj from DURGASOFT. So today we are going to discuss another important topic, that is time and distance. So time and distance. Here when we consider this particular topic, all the time we are discussing about mainly three variables, and those are time, speed, distance. So these are the three variables we will be discussing in our topic. So time, and then distance, and the next one is speed. Let's see. So what is the relation between these three variables and what are the units we can consider here? So now generally if I take the units, whenever the time is in terms of seconds, we must consider distance in terms of meters, and speed should be meters per seconds. Whenever the time is in terms of hours, distance should be in terms of kilometers, whereas speed is in terms of kilometers per hour. So in this way we can take any set of values. So when we consider the units, it may be seconds for time, meters for distance, meters per seconds for speed, or hours for time, kilometers for distance, and kilometers per hour for speed. Now sometimes the values will be given in terms of other units. For example, here we may expect the time in seconds, distance in meters, whereas the speed will be given in terms of kilometers per hour. So kilometers per hour. Generally we use the same set of values. That's why, so in those situations we have to convert our value of kilometers per hour speed into meters per hour speed. So that speed value should be here considered in terms of meters per second. So how to convert kilometers per hour into meters per seconds is simply, we know that 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meters by 1 hour is nothing but 60 minutes, but we are taking in terms of seconds. So that's why 60 seconds is giving 1 minute, 60 minutes is giving 1 hour. So 1 hour means 60 minutes, 1 minute again 60. So totally 60 into 60 seconds. So when you calculate this, you will be getting here required value. So 5 by 18 meters per seconds. So in this way, whenever you want to change your kilometers per hour into meters per seconds, you should multiply with 5 by 18, and this is the reason why generally we multiply with 5 by 18, because here we are changing the value into meters and seconds. From this only we are getting 5 by 18. So simply, now let's see how we can use this concept. Simply I am saying my speed is 20 kilometers per hour. I want to express this value in terms of meters per seconds. Now let's see how I can write the same value in terms of meters per second. So we know that kilometers per hour can be changed into meters per seconds by multiplying with 5 by 18. So it is equals to here 20 into 500 by 18, which will give us a 50 by 9 meters per seconds. Or you can take 5 by 9, or even you can take 4.55. So whatever it is the value in terms of meters per seconds. If not, if you don't know this fraction, simply you can change the value, like 20 into 1 kilometer is 1000 meters by 1 hour is equals to 60 into 60 or 3600 seconds. So simply you can take that value, instead of 5 by 18 fraction. Because we are getting this fraction from this calculation only, you can do that calculation here itself. Whether you remember that or not doesn't matter, because you can do that calculation here. If you remember, directly you can multiply. So this is how we can change our values from kilometers per hour into meters per seconds. Suppose if I want to change kilometers per hour into meters per seconds, we have seen. Instead of that, if I want meters per second speed into kilometers per hour, we know that kilometer per hour is equals to 5 by 18 meter per second. Now 1 meter per second from this is equals to 18 by 5 kilometers per hour. Suppose I am saying my speed is 10 meters per second. I want to change this value into kilometers per hour. So it is equals to 10 into 18 by 5, which will get us 36 kilometers per hour. So like this, we can take the speed of 10 meters per second in terms of kilometers per hour as 36. So this is how we can change the values from kilometers per hour into meters per second, or meters per second into kilometers per hour. And you know, 1 kilometer equals to 1000 meters, or 1 hour equals to 3600 seconds. Now this is the units what we are having. Now let's take here the relation between these variables. Time is equals to, I can take distance by speed. So the time taken by us is equals to the distance we traveled by the speed at which we are going. Next, distance is equals to, so the speed we are having into here time we are taking. So from this also you can expect speed into time equals to distance. Now from the same relation, speed is equals to distance by time. So in this way you can remember, or simply you can remember the relation by one equation, that is DTS, distance is equals to time into speed. So from this you can write any variable. Suppose if I want speed, distance by t. Suppose if I want time, it is distance by speed. So in this way you can expect all the three relations. So by using these relations we will be solving most of the questions. Suppose generally the basic questions what we can expect here is, a man can cover 360 kilometers at the rate of 20 kilometers per hour speed. Now what is the time taken by him? So time is equals to the distance traveled by here, time speed is going at. These are in kilometers and these are in kilometers per hour, so that we can take directly where we are getting 18 here hours, because it is in kilometers, it is in kilometers per hour. That's why the time should be in hours. Suppose instead of this, if I am saying instead of 20 kilometers per hour, if the speed is given in terms of meters per second, suppose if he is going at 40 meters per second. Now I cannot take directly 360 by 40 meters per second in order to calculate the time. So what you can do is, either you can change 360 kilometers into meters, if not this 40 meters per second into here kilometers per hour. If I change this 40 into 18 by 5, where I am getting the speed in terms of kilometers per hour. So 8 times 8 into 18, so 144 kilometers per hour. Now my time is equals to 360 by 144. If not, if you change this value, so the value in terms of meters should be, because 1 kilometer equals to 1000 meters, so 360 kilometers means 360 into 1000, which is equals to here, so 360,000 meters by 40 you can take. So in this way we can find out the value in terms of seconds here, and here it is in terms of hours. So not only time, whatever the value he is giving. Suppose a man traveled 180 kilometers by taking here 4 hours. What is the speed? So speed is equals to the distance traveled by time taken. Kilometers, hours, I can take the same set of values. So 180 by 4, which is giving 45 kilometers per hour. Suppose if I am asking the speed where 180 kilometers traveled, but the speed was given as 10 meters per second. The time is here simply 90 minutes. It is in kilometers, but the time is in minutes, so that I cannot consider. Either you can change this value or this value. So 90 kilometers per hour, 1 minute is equals to 1 by 60th hour. So 90 means 90 by 60, or simply 3 by 2. So now you can take 180 by 3 by 2. So where you will get the required answer. So in this way you can change the values when you are not having the same set of values. So this is all about the units, relations, and how we can find the required values. Now suppose a boy is going from a point A to B and from B to C. Let us consider the distance from A to B is 120 kilometers and B to C, suppose here 90 kilometers. Now when he is going from A to B at 20 kilometers per hour and from B to C he is going at 30 kilometers per hour. Now my question is, okay, so here what is the average speed from A to C? So the question is, what is the average speed from A to C? So here when you observe this, the speed from A to B is 20 kilometers per hour and the speed from B to C is 30 kilometers per hour. If I ask only from A to B, it is 20, from B to C it is 30, but I am asking the overall speed, the overall average speed for the total journey from A to C I want. Now how I can calculate that? Actually here the value what I am asking is average speed is nothing but a speed only, average speed or simply speed, which will calculated by using the formula. Suppose if it is speed, it should be distance by time, but instead of asking simply speed I am saying here average speed. Why I am taking average? Definitely there will be more than one, that's why we should consider the total distance by total time. So by taking that we will calculate the required value. Now what is the total distance? Here it is 120 and here it is 90. That's why here 120 plus 90 is the total distance he traveled. And what about total time? So time is nothing but distance by speed. So in this case the first distance is 120 and the time what he is taking by 120 by 20 in the first case, plus in the second case distance by speed will get us the time. So in this way here the total distance is 210 kilometers by here 20 by 120 by 20 is 6 hours plus 3 hours. So in this way 210 kilometers by 9 hours. Now when I calculate this, so 70 by 3 kilometers per hour. So this is the average speed what we are having from A to C. So in this way whenever you want the average speed we can calculate by taking the formula of total distance by total time. So this is the formula what we can use. Now let's see by using this formula what will happen when there is a special case or special situation. Suppose in the same way, when I am going from A to B and B to C, if the distances what I am having is D1, D2 and speeds S1, S2. So in this way we can expect here the speed from A to B is S1 and the speed from B to C is S2, and the distance from A to B is D1 and the distance from B to C is D2. When I ask the average speed, it is equals to, so average speed in general I am taking instead of a value, so total distance is D1 plus D2 by total time, which means the time in the first case is D1 by S1 and the time in the second case is D2 by S2. Now whenever here both the distances are equal, if D1 is equals to D2, so let's see what will happen. So average speed is equals to D1 equals to D1, so you can take D1 plus D1 by here D1 by S1 plus even this one D1 by S2. So from this 2D1 by, if I take D1, it is 1 by S1 plus 1 by S2. So when you cancel this, it is equals to 2 by 1 by S1 plus 1 by S2. So this is the average speed formula. Two equal distances are given. Suppose a boy is going from A to B and B to C, where the distances are same, AB equals to BC. Now in that case the formula will become 2 by 1 by S1 plus 1 by S2. If not, if you calculate this, what we are getting is 2 by LCM is S1 plus S2, or LCM is S1 S2, and the value will become S2 plus S1, and from this 2S1 S2 by S1 plus S2. So this formula generally what we are using, like 2xy by x plus y, or 2ab by a plus b, or 2s1 s2 by s1 plus s2, in order to calculate the average speed when we are covering two equal distances with two different speeds. So here we can conclude the point as the average speed in covering two equal distances with two different speeds is 2s1 s2 by S1 plus S2. That is what we are using. Now let's see how they will ask. A boy is running from a point X to Y at 20 kilometers per hour, and from Y to Z at 10 kilometers per hour. Find average speed from X to Z if XY is equals to YZ. The distances from X to Y is equals to the distance from Y to Z. Now, so it is clearly something like X to Y, distance D, Y to Z, same distance, speed is 20 here, kilometers per hour, and it is 10 kilometers per hour here. So here average speed I want, we know that average speed is equals to 2s1 s2 by s1 plus s2. So we can use that formula in order to get the required value. Now s1 value 20 and s2 value 10. So that's why 2 into 20 into 10 by 20 plus 10, it is equals to 400 by here 30. So which is equals to 40 by 3 kilometers per hour. So in this way we can calculate the average speed. if you observe the given question, in the question he is not giving the distance, and we don't want to use the distance if he is given, because here in the formula 2s1 s2 by s1 plus s2 we don't have any distance values. That's why, so in these type of situations the distance is not required. Whenever we know that the distance is constant, the distance is same, that's it. We are not going to use the distance. Simply what we want is the distance should be equal. Now instead of asking the average speed by taking two different slots and the distances equal, sometimes the same question will be asked as a boy is going from home to school. A boy is going from home to school at 10 kilometers per hour and then return at 15 kilometers per hour. Then what is the average speed? So we want average speed for the total journey. So total journey we want. So what is the meaning of this? Simply the boy is going from his home to school at 10 kilometers per hour and then return. What do you mean by then return? He is coming back from school to home at 15 kilometers per hour. So here what we can understand is he is going from home to school and then coming back from school to home. That means the distance is same in these two cases. So that's why I can use the same formula in order to calculate the average speed. So the average speed is equals to total distance by total speed, if not 2s1 s2 by here s1 plus s2, because the distance is same. So 2s1 s2, 2 into 10 into 15 by 10 plus 15. So it is equals to here 300 by 25. So this will get us 12 kilometers per hour as the average speed. So this is how we can find out the average speed when the boy was covering the same distances with the two different speeds. Now sometimes instead of two equal distances they will ask us to calculate the average speed for three equal distances. If it is for three equal distance like A to B, B to C and C to D. If I take this one D, D, D equal distance, but it is S1, S2, S3. Actually what we remember for two distances is simply for two equal distances the formula was initially 2 by 1 by S1 plus 1 by S2. So in this case for three distances we can consider as a 3 by 1 by S1 plus 1 by S2 plus 1 by S3, or when we calculate that the answer will become 3s1 s2 s3 by s1 s2 plus s2 s3 plus s3 s1. So in this way we can calculate the required value. Suppose if it is four equal distances A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E. Now it is equals to 4 by 1 by S1 plus 1 by S2 plus 1 by S3 plus 1 by S4. If you calculate that you will get the required value as 4 S1 S2 S3 S4 by here S2 S3 S4 plus S1 S3 S4 plus S1 S2 S3 plus S1 S2 S4. So in that way we can expect the required values. So here what we are doing is we are finding the average speed. Now generally how they can ask the questions in these situations, like we have seen one example for the first case when two distances are equal, like boy is going from home to school and then return from school to home. If not, a man is going from his house to office then return. That is for two equal distances. Suppose coming to three equal distances, so it will be like a man is running around a place which is in equilateral triangle. That means the distance whatever we are having is constant here for all the three sides. Now in this case how they can ask is, so a man is walking or running around a playground which is in square shape. That means the distance in this particular case is constant. On all the four sides we are having the same distance. So this is how we can calculate. Suppose if the question is, so he is running around this playground and the speeds on the first side is 10, on the second side 20, on the third side 30, and on the fourth side 40. What is the average speed? So that we can calculate. Next. So this is all about average speed. Now let's see. When a man is going at 3/5 of his speed, 3/5 of his speed, he will be getting here 10 minutes late. So when a particular man is going at 3/5 of his speed or 3/5 of his actual speed, he will reach the target by 10 minutes late. Now the question what I want is, what is the actual time? Actual time to reach the target. So this is what I want. The question is, when a man is going at 3/5 of his usual speed, then he will reach the target by 10 minutes late. Now what is the actual time to reach the target? Now let's see how we can answer. Suppose the values are not given, so that's why I can consider the distance as d, and the speed as s, and the time I am taking as t. So the relation in the first case is equals to, so the relation or the equation we are getting is distance is equals to speed into time. Let us consider equation number 1. And in the next case what we are having is, here he is going at 3/5 of his normal speed. So definitely in this case speed is 3/5 of s, and the distance is same, and the time is he is getting 10 minutes late. That means in this case he will take t plus 10 minutes. Why it is t plus 10 minutes and why not t minus 10 minutes? Let me explain. Suppose every day I am starting at 8 a.m. and reaching the target at 9 a.m. That means every time I am taking 1 hour. Today also I am starting at 8 a.m. and getting 10 minutes late, means we will reach at 9:10 a.m. So in this case the duration is 1 hour plus 10 minutes. So in that way here it is t plus 10 minutes. So now the equation in the second situation will become, the distance is same is equals to speed is 3/5 into s, time is equals to t plus 10. Equation number 2. Now when I solve these two equations I will get the required value. These two are representing same s value, so we can take s into t is equals to 3/5 into s into t plus 10. Now s get cancelled, so 5 t is equals to 3t plus 30. So from this here we will get 5t minus 3t, 2t is equals to 30, t is equals to 15 minutes, because initially it is given in terms of minute. So now it is equals to 15 minutes. So usually he is going at in 15 minutes, but today because of 3/5 of his speed he was reaching in 10 minutes late, so that totally he will take 25 minutes. So this is how we can calculate. Now for the same question, without calculating this entire thing, now let's see how I can answer simply in 5 to 10 seconds, or even when you look at the question you can get the answer easily. Now let's see the other way, that is, so what I want here is usual time. So usual time is equals to, so in these type of questions, if you observe 3/5 of usual speed and getting 10 minutes late, or it may be, suppose when I am going at 7/9 of speed, I will be getting 6 minutes late, or 11/8 of the speed where I am reaching 12 minutes early. So like this, some values will be given in the question. Now by using those values, now let's see how I will get the required value. So usual time, that means the time what I am taking generally is equals to, take the numerator of this fraction. So every time we are having a fraction, so take the numerator of the fraction. So this is the numerator by the difference between numerator and denominator. So this symbol shows the difference. So the difference between these two values. So what we want here, the difference between these two values. In this case it is 2. Suppose if I take these two, so now it is 2. Suppose if I take these two, now it is 3. So like that we should consider the difference between the numerator and denominator. So simply I am saying numerator, it doesn't mean that numerator minus denominator only. It may be like denominator minus numerator, because you know the meaning of this difference. Difference is simply the difference, simply the value we should consider, but not the sign. So here into the time difference, that means the numerator what we are having there is 3 by, here the difference between numerator and denominator in that case is 2 into time difference is simply here 10 minutes given. So 3/2 into 10, so 5 times 5 into 3, 15 minutes. So that's why we are getting the same answer. So instead of calculating this entire value, we can get